Welcome to the Queer God Squad. It's Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the senior minister of the Sunshine Cathedral. With me today are Bishop Robert Griffin, my husband, Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall. We are the Queer God Squad. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about us.
Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There is no streaming TV show like this in the entire world.
In 2026, we are celebrating the 41st anniversary of Hotspots magazine, with Queer News Tonight sharing over 11,000 stories and 11 million views so far.
We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. Doomsday Theology infiltrates military leadership. In March 2026, The Guardian reported that a religious freedom watchdog, the Military Religious Freedom Foundation, MRFF, received over 200 complaints from the U.S. service members regarding the use of extremist Christian rhetoric to justify military operations against Iran. According to the report, commanders across various branches, including the Air Force and Space Force, allegedly told subordinates that the conflict was, quote, all part of God's plan, end quote, and cited what they consider end times prophecies from the book of Revelation. One specific complaint alleged that a commander described President Trump as being, quote, anointed by Jesus to initiate Armageddon. The MRFF characterized these incidents as a surge in Christian nationalism within the military, noting that such messaging creates a coercive environment for non-Christian and non-religious personnel. The rhetoric reportedly mirrors broader political trends under the Trump administration. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has been noted for his own embrace of Christian nationalist doctrines, framing Middle East policy in explicitly religious terms. While the Pentagon did not directly address the specific complaints of proselytizing, the report sparked concerns among lawmakers and civil rights groups about the erosion of the constitutional separation of church and state within the armed forces during the escalating conflict. Queer God Squad deconstructs apocalypticism. First of all, all evidence to the contrary, are not a theocracy. And so it is not the Pope that sends troops into battle or some religious equivalent. It's not the Dalai Lama. There's not a religious person who is in charge of our military. We don't have a religious military. We have a secular military. We do have chaplains available to people. I mean, they get to certainly have their religious expression and experience, but it's so diverse. You know, so yeah, you have Jewish people, you have Muslim people, you have atheists, you have Buddhists, you have Christians, you have Catholics, you have Eastern Orthodox, you have Protestants, you have fundamentalists, you have Pentecostals. There's not a unified theology flag for them to march under anyway. And the military is not a theological branch. It's not an arm of religion anyway. So this is just inappropriate, probably illegal, certainly unethical, and ill-informed. First of all, to even say, well, because of Revelation, I think that this. First of all, not everyone reads Revelation. Revelation is not a sacred text to everybody. So who cares? Because, you know, maybe according to Mad Magazine that I revere, all of this means something else. You just can't. So first of all, that. Second of all, if you're going to quote Revelation, know something about goddamn Revelation. It's not Doomsday for the future. This is written in the late first century. It's resistance literature against the Roman Empire, and hoping and envisioning all this battle between good and evil. The empire is evil, and that eventually, in the fullness of time, good wins. It's encouragement for the people who are being oppressed by empire, by empire, and so it's this science fiction, Star Wars situation where the good and bad are fighting. And there's all of these amazing scientific imagery for it. And in the end, yes, it's terrible along the way. There's monsters, there's dragons, there's beasts. But in the end, good wins. And the dragon falls and the beast is defeated. And it's all allegory, and it's all about the 1st and 2nd century, and it has not a damn thing to do with Iran or the United States or the 21st century. So it is disingenuous to even pretend that that book has anything to do with fortune telling and future telling and end times of whatever. And second of all, when you are worshiping the end times, when you're trying to predict when it is and you're excited about it and you want to even be a part of making it happen, we call that a doomsday cult.
Yeah.
And nothing healthy comes out of that. So no matter what you think Revelation says, who cares? Because that's not the place for it. Secondly, read a book, because, ask a scholar, because that's not what Revelation even is. And thirdly, no, if God needs you to kick off the end times, then it's not God. So quit trying to help God do something terrible. If God's going to do that, God doesn't need you to do it. And if God does need you, then you apparently are powerful enough to say, no, thank you, God. I'm not going to participate in ending the world. So it's just really bad theology. First of all, theology has no place in it. And second of all, the theology they're using is crap.
It really is very poor, misguided theology. Misguided theology. And my thought initially was like, well, it seems to me that some people are benefiting from this really poor, misguided theology. It's like, okay, we're going to sit here, we're going to make this interpretation, and then we're going to send you into battle. So, maybe something to think about.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doomsday, Armageddon, and yet this is the president who sees himself as the president of peace.
Yeah.
$1 billion.
Did he just want a board of peace like 2 minutes before he blew up Iran?
That he owns for the rest of his life.
And they had to pay billions of dollars to get on the board. Where did that money go?
So, just on all of that.
Yeah.
And this ain't even about following the money. Yeah, follow the money, but this ain't even about following the money more.
No,
this is just crazy. This is medicatable stuff that's going on right now with the current administration, people in leadership. And for any commander to pronounce that the current president has been anointed by Jesus to do this, that commander needs to check himself. Because he does not have any idea, certainly he has idea of the influence that he has over his troops, but now you're beginning to read about troops who are disobeying their commanders because they feel that they are being given an unlawful order.
Right.
And so this thing is going to end up in a major judiciary before it's all over with military coercion and everything else, because they're given unlawful orders. And you can't keep that up without paying the price. And boots on the ground will pay the price for somebody doing this kind of crazy stuff right here. This let's make it all up and blow it all up. This is not going to be helpful for anybody. And this whole, the national Christian coalition, this is not about Christianity stuff. This is not about Christianity, or at least the Christianity that we understand it to be, and that we understand it to mean. This is not what these people are after.
Surely active military members and veterans chafe at a draft dodger sending people to their death. Surely. Don't call me Shirley.
I think more and more are beginning to realize that than those who previously voted for him. It's like, now that my son has to go, or my child has to go, or my neighbor has to go, or these are people that are sending out to the front, preparing to send. And I just want to say,
no wars, which was just a lie. He knew he was going to do stuff.
And I just want to say, if you want to send anybody, send your ICE agents.
Exactly.
If you want to send anybody, send your ICE agents. If they're all that they are that you make them up be, send them over there and let them be the first ones on the line.
Well, they wanted to be boots on the ground.
They wanted to be boots on the ground. Let them go. Keep our military troops at home.
Exactly. And he has destabilized an entire region. Because, like, Iran is attacked. When you were attacked during peace talks, by the way, that they were in earnest with. So when you attack, they of course have to defend themselves, and they are not holding back. So anywhere there's American presence, even their neighbors and allies, they're fighting back. They're the largest military in the Middle East. And so it's ugly, and it's completely destabilized. Like hotels, hospitals, airports. So this is going to hurt travel. This not only disturb the locals, but now going to hurt their hospitality economies. Destabilize the whole region, and for what? So that we don't talk about Epstein? Epstein. He is a predator, he is a criminal, he is a felon, and he is killing people to keep us from talking about that.
Yep.
Instead of calling him 45 and 47, just call him 34. The whole thing with commanders going and telling troops that 34 is the second coming or the third coming? That just boggles my mind. And it was funny. Writing into this, I was listening on my car, and there was a black preacher talking about Revelation. And it surprised me because this particular guy got it right. He told his listeners.
Some of us were listening in seminary.
Yeah, that's Reverend Dr. Dan and I were talking about that earlier. He told the listeners things that they may not have wanted to hear, and that the book of Revelation, whichever John wrote it, was writing to the people of his time, was writing to empire of his time, was writing about what was going on right then and there, and use imagery, graphic imagery, to get people's attention. I guess we have to do a book of Revelation part 2, where we get the attention of the people today, because we're listening to a crazy man who appointed a television commentator to be the Secretary of Defense, who has no idea of what it means to send men and women into battle who may die, and then have 34 run a television ad using those dead bodies as a fundraising spot. I am afraid for what is going on, but I have faith that there are enough people who are beginning to pay attention and saying, I didn't vote for that, even though they did. Maybe they'll wake up and start moving away from, I didn't vote for that, and I'm going to vote for something better.
Yeah.
I don't mean to beat this dead horse also, but I mean, this guy has no exit strategy from any of this. We'll get out when I said we're ready to come out. That's not an exit strategy.
No.
Yeah.
Compared to what you've done. And not only, you say destabilize the region, this man has destabilized the global economy.
Absolutely.
And he needs to be held accountable for that.
Yep.
And, I got faith and hope will get us through this. And so that's why I ended on, but this is nuts.
Yeah.
I would say God help us, but she won't, because what God does for us, she must do through us. And so maybe God give us the grace and the courage to help ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Please like and share this and other episodes of the Queer God Squad.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that we are all in this together, and also remember that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad.